Hi, cuties. Welcome to another episode of my podcast, Things Could Be Worse. I'm your host, Baileydedrick, and today I'm recording, or should I say tonight? Tonight I'm recording my latest podcast episode ever. As in, like, when I'm recording this, it's the latest I've ever recorded a podcast. It's like 10:45 p.m. right now. I had no intention of doing this. I don't know why I'm sitting down and deciding to record this episode right now. I put in on my schedule this week to record the podcast either today or tomorrow, and I didn't have the time today, so I just figured, I'll record it tomorrow. It'll be fine. It would be perfectly fine for me to record it tomorrow, but for some reason, I was just sitting in bed and it was like getting late. It was like 10 and I felt no ounce of like tiredness, and I just knew that like tonight's gonna be a late night for me. Like, I'm gonna stay up regardless of what I'm doing. I'm gonna be up late just because I'm so wired right now. I don't know what happened because I was exhausted all day. I just went to dinner with all my friends, and one of my friends was like, what is wrong with you? Like, you seem so quiet and like out of it. And I was like, I'm just really fucking tired. And then I get home from dinner and I'm still tired, but like I'm not in the mood to sleep, if that makes any sense. So I was like, you know what? If I'm going to stay up late regardless, might as well be productive and just like get this podcast episode recorded. Lately, I have not been the best with planning out podcast episodes, just like ever since Europe, like all the Europe episodes, it was not planned at all. Like, it was just me sitting down or me and my brother sitting down and talking about, what had been happening on our trip. Since I got back from Europe, it's been really hard for me to like sit down and plan podcasts for some reason, just because I really liked the format of just like turning my camera on, turning my like mic on, and just being like, okay, what should I talk about today? And just like letting it roll. I think it's like fun. So I don't know how y'all feel about this. I do have like some sort of topic and like things that I want to touch on today, but honestly, we're just chit-chatting. This is a late night session for me. My thoughts usually run rampant at nighttime. So I'm basically going to be talking to you guys about all of the things that I would be thinking about if I was just laying in my bed trying to sleep right now and my mind is just spinning. I know a lot of people can probably relate to me on that. Like, you're trying to sleep, your eyes are shut, your phone is off, it's put over on your nightstand, you're like trying to get comfy and try to fall asleep, and your mind just starts racing and you're thinking about a million things and you can't seem to like shut your brain off. I used to struggle with this a lot. Like, I could not sleep at night for a majority of high school, honestly, and even in middle school. I had a really hard time like turning my brain off at night, and I just felt like every single night that I would like try to go to sleep, or like, I tried to go to sleep every single night, but like literally every single night I would lay there and I would just overthink like every single little detail, or think about things that I haven't thought about in months, or things that aren't even relevant to my life anymore. Like, it's just a fucking crazy time, right? I feel like the last year or so I've been very good at like being able to just turn my brain off for some reason, and I was so happy for that because it sucks when you're trying to sleep and your mind is just going crazy. But the last couple of, I don't even want to say weeks, probably the last week or so, I've been just thinking, and it's causing me a lot of unsettling feelings and just like uncertainty within myself and my life, just because I'm thinking so fucking much. So I guess this episode is kind of going to be about overthinking, but also like, more broadly than that, it's going to be about mental health, and it's going to be about this kind of seasonal depression type of thing that a lot of people deal with. It is colder now. It's starting to get even colder than cold right now. Like, it's 30 degrees right now, and it's gonna be getting really frigid and cold where I am very soon. So it's just gonna continue to get worse. We just had the time change, so it gets dark really, really early, and 5 p.m. feels like 10 p.m. and it's just like a very sad, dark, gloomy time. And I realize I've never really touched a whole lot on seasonal depression. I don't necessarily want to call it seasonal depression because I'm going to be speaking from my own experience, and I've never been like diagnosed with seasonal depression. I also have never technically been diagnosed for depression either. I don't think that I have depression. I think there's like lingering, like, I don't know. I don't want to I went to therapy. So in middle school I was definitely depressed, but I don't know if it was like depression. You know what I mean? Because like people that deal with depression every single day of their lives for the most part. Like it's a constant battle. It just doesn't like go away one day. You know what I mean? So I don't want to like say all these things and be like, oh yeah, seasonal depression, and like throw those words out there lightly, because I know a lot of times nowadays, like we hear that all the time, just like thrown around, and it's like super, easy to just be like, oh yeah, I have seasonal depression, but like you don't actually have depression. And I'm not saying you don't have depression. Like if you have depression, you're diagnosed, and like you believe that you have depression, you're valid. I'm just saying, for me, when I'm referring to seasonal depression in this episode, please mean that I mean seasonal sadness. I don't mean actual depression, because I don't have a lot of experience with that. So I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm not in those shoes. With that being said, every single freaking year around, I don't know, probably October, November, things get kind of dark for me. And lately, they've been pretty good. Like, as in lately, I mean, like, the last year or two. Like, I didn't really, like, feel that sad around, like, wintertime and when it got colder. But, like, previous to that, like, middle school, I definitely was struggling mentally. Again, I don't want to say it was depression, because I was technically diagnosed with anxiety by my counselor, but I never felt like I had anxiety. I just felt like I couldn't talk to her. Like I never like told her I was actually feeling, because I was just like young and stupid and like immature and wasn't willing to take advantage of therapy. So I kind of just like told her like half of what I was feeling, and then from that she diagnosed me with anxiety. And I don't think I have anxiety. I think I experience anxiety, and I think I feel anxious at times, like any person does. But I don't think that I have crippling anxiety that like affects my day-to-day life in any way. So I don't claim that diagnosis. And I think there's something wrong with me. But I think for the most part, I'm pretty mentally healthy pretty consistently. I don't even know where that was going. Oh, I was just like very unwell in middle school, and I kind of want to do like a whole episode dedicated to middle school and my middle school experience, because I don't know if that would be interesting. I feel like I went through a lot that a lot of people don't know about, and it was kind of literally, no, not kind of, it was literally the most like dark time of my life, and it makes me so sad thinking back on it and like thinking about how young I was and how bad I was feeling and how I literally wanted to like myself over like things. Like it was a crazy time. So when I was going through all of that in like middle school and the beginning of high school, oh my God, I have like a terrible bruise on my forehead right now. I'll explain in a second. But when I was going through those dark times in like middle school and the beginning of high school, just, really having no idea who I was. Like I was just dealing with a lot. I was having so many issues with friends. I had new friends every single year. I hated school. Like I was just very unhappy. My like seasonal depression or seasonal sadness definitely showed way more back then than it did now, because I was already struggling year round. And then when it got, sad and dark and cold outside, it got a lot worse. But thankfully, the last couple of years have been pretty good, but I will say I feel like everybody to a certain extent experiences this phenomenon, and I absolutely hate it. Like I hate winter with my entire soul. Why can I not just be happy all year like I am in the summertime? Obviously, I'm sad still in the summer. Like I'm not saying like, oh, my life is perfect. I have no issues, no problems in the summertime. I'm just saying the difference in my mentality and my attitude and just like the overall way that I feel about myself and towards the world during the winter versus the summer is a day and night difference. And it's so shitty. Like it is so shitty. The shittiest part is there's like nothing you can do about it. Obviously for me, living someplace where it is like actually fucking freezing, it's not like the coldest it could be. I know there's like colder states than Wisconsin and like states that get more snow than Wisconsin, but for the most part, like Wisconsin is, cold. Like it's cold and it's shitty here, and it's like our winters are brutal. And something that I think would help me in my seasonal sadness is moving to a place that's warmer and you can be outside all year round versus literally just like bundling up and like not leaving your house all winter long, which is like what I do. Obviously, it's scientifically proven that sunlight affects your like mental so much, like getting vitamin D from the sun and being out in the sun and, you know, waking up and being in the sun, like that affects your mental so much. And then like when it's winter and we have like half as much sunlight, and like the sunlight that we do have, like I'm not even soaking it up because it's fucking 12 degrees outside. You know what I mean? I don't want to be outside in the sun because why would I want to be outside right now? So there's like that whole side of it. And then there's also the fact that there's like nothing going on. Like literally nothing is going on. The only things to do here in the wintertime are like go to the movies or like go to the mall. And I live in like a pretty small town with a whole, like there's not a whole lot to do all year round, but at least in the summer, like me and my friends are constantly going to different lakes and like spending the day at the beach, which isn't a real beach. It's on a fucking lake. I wish I could go to the real beach. But like we call it the beach. We go to the beach. We go to different state parks. And this stuff might sound like stupid to you, but it's literally all we have to do in Wisconsin. So it's actually a lot of fun. But like hiking and, you know, just like exploring nature is so good for your soul and your mind and like how you feel. And obviously you just can't do that in the wintertime. And yes, there's like snowboarding and skiing, but like you can't do that to the full extent that you can like just like go outside and go for a walk when it's summertime. You know what I mean? Like it's difficult. So there's like nothing to do in this damn city, and it's cold and it gets dark early. Like it's really easy to be sad. And honestly, I feel like lately it's been a combination of me over oh my God. Oh, that cough was unsolicited as fuck. I did not feel that coming, and then it was just here. But yeah, lately I feel like my life has been a combination of overthinking like crazy and also this transition into the colder months. I am so sad that it's so dark out. It just makes me feel sad, and it makes me feel like I have no motivation to do anything. And that's also kind of why I recorded this podcast tonight, because I felt some sort of motivation to actually sit down and record an episode, and there is no what word am I thinking of? There is no guarantee that I'm going to have motivation tomorrow. And that's the worst part. Obviously, like motivation comes and goes all year long, but I'm just saying I have a lot less motivation right now than I did a few months ago. And that comes in so many, like every single aspect of my life. I have less motivation, and I just like care about shit less. And it's so hard because I'm such like a perfectionist, and I love working hard, and like I truly like have so many ideas and things that I want to do constantly, but like I don't have the motivation or like the energy to do them because I'm just like, ugh, this sucks, dude. Like I'm sick of it. And I don't know what to do or how to like change it, because so many people deal with this, and it's just like we need to figure out how to cope with this, or at least make it like a little easier to deal with, because it's never going to change, especially like if you live in a cold state. There's nothing, like what are you supposed to do? If you live in like Miami, bitch, you can still go to the beach right now, and that's like, I just want that. I don't want to live in Miami, but like I just want that. Like I want to be able to go to the beach. I want to be able to go on a walk. I want to be able to like drive with my windows down and like listen to music and like do the things that make me happy in the summertime. But I can't do them right now. I literally don't even know where this episode is going. I just want you guys to know like that if you're also experiencing like this change in your energy and like change in your motivation and change in your overall mood since like the winter has kind of started, it's normal and it's okay. And like so many people feel this way. And I'm still trying to figure out how to make it easier. I guess my number one biggest tip is to just not let yourself fall into the habit of like not doing anything. I know when it's cold out, I literally said this like a few minutes ago. I said when it's cold out and it's getting dark at 4 p.m. and you know you have no motivation to do anything, you don't want to like do anything, right? You want to just like stay bundled up. Like you get home from school, you just go to your room and you stay in your room, and it's just like not healthy. And I am like victim to this. Yeah, I fall victim to this. It's like I don't have the energy even to like run errands. I don't want to go run errands because it's so cold outside. It's like, what the fuck? Like, why? Why is it like this? It's so stupid. I'm actually very curious to know like the statistics of people. Like, do people in Florida experience seasonal depression? Like when it stays warm? I know like my friend Sadie, she lives in Pensacola, so it still gets like colder-ish there. Like it'll get down to like the 40s and 50s, I think, like the coldest in the winter. But I would do anything for the coldest to be 50 degrees. Like, fuck yes, please. But, like, if you live in Miami and it, like, doesn't really get cold, like, are you experiencing seasonal depression too? I just wonder that. Like, is it the same thing? Or is, like, the colder your state gets, like, the colder your state is the, like, seasonal depression or, like, seasonal sadness or, like, mood switch, like, is the, okay. Now I can't speak. Great. Is the statistics for those states like higher than southern states? I'd like to know that. I don't know. Maybe I'll look that up in a little bit. But basically, my biggest piece of advice and like advice that I also need to listen to when dealing with like mental health changes in the wintertime. And there's like so much surrounding mental health that I could talk about in like a million different episodes with like a million different topics. Like mental health is such a huge thing that you can talk about and that I have advice for, but I guess we're more specifically talking about like seasonal sadness, seasonal mental health, if you will. So when it comes to that, just like do not let yourself fall victim to staying inside constantly. Obviously, like you don't need to go outside, but it's more just like getting out of the house. Like you don't have to actually be outside, but like go outside and transport yourself to another place that's inside, but somewhere else that isn't just your room. Because if you just like stay in your room all winter long or like stay in your house all winter long, of course you're going to be sad. Like it's obvious. But if you do get yourself to get out of the house, no matter how hard it is, it's going to make you feel better and it's going to make you just feel happier because you're actually like doing things and not just like rotting your life away inside for the winter months. But further than that, I also will say like continue doing things that you love. I know it can like be something about winter, bro. Like I just literally want to hibernate and I just want to give up on everything. It's like all I want to do is sit inside, be on my phone, on TikTok or YouTube or whatever, or like watch Netflix, like any of that. Like I don't even want to, do hobbies that I like doing, even if like I could do them inside, like painting. I really like painting. I've fallen away from it. I'm not great at painting, but it's fun for me and it's always been fun for me. So it's something that I kind of like a hobby that I've had for years that I kind of pick up off and on. But it's like I like painting. Painting brings me happiness. Why don't I paint instead of sitting on TikTok, which just like drains you and, makes you overthink and compare yourself to others and compare your life to others. And it's like, it's not healthy to be on your phone all the fucking time. And I feel like in the wintertime, it's so easy to do that. So pick up hobbies that you either have liked in the past that you've kind of given up on, or find new hobbies to replace the things that you're already doing that aren't maybe the best for you and your mental health. Find things inside that make you happy, or find things outside. That won't be me though. Couldn't be me. I hate it out there. I'm scared of outside. I'm scared. It's just tricky. And I'm not even gonna lie, like this whole overthinking thing, I just have been feeling weird. It's not even like I feel sad. It's just like I feel weird. And I don't know why it happens every single year. Like the time change happens and everybody's like, whoa, it feels like I've never experienced it before. It feels so foreign. Like literally, why is it dark out at 5 p.m.? It's like you get home from school. I don't go to school, but like around the time that I used to get home from school, it's like literally the sun is setting already. And it's like, this is so sad. Like I just was locked up in school all day inside, don't see any sunlight. And then the second you get out of school, it's dark out. And it's like, dude, how am I supposed to not be sad? How is it possible to not be sad right now? Like, this is just sad when you think about it. It's just insane. Every single year when it hits like 5 p.m. and all of a sudden it's dark outside, we're all like, oh my God, it feels like 10 p.m. Like, we're not used to it. Like, by the time you get used to it setting late or early, you have to flip back, and it's like an endless cycle of it just flipping. And it's like, what is happening? Why are we still doing this daylight savings bullshit? And also, I'll say, I heard I think last year they were talking about, banning or stopping this whole daylight savings thing or the time change. And like all of the people, like I don't know actually much about the government, but like the people, I don't know if it was like the mayors and the governors, they all, like all 50 states like signed off on it. They like wanted to get rid of daylight savings. And then by the time it got like to the House and the Senate, they just like didn't care. Or like the president, like they just didn't care. And they were like, whatever, like they're just not even, like they didn't give a shit out about it. So like it just never got passed. So like what the fuck? Like we all want this shit to change. Like I don't get it. It's sad as fuck. Like why is it dark out at 5 p.m.? I could literally complain about this forever, but honestly it's not going to change unless they do actually change the whole daylight savings thing. That's still not going to affect the fact that the sun just still sets earlier because the days are shorter in the wintertime, not just because of the time change. But it's also cold and you can't change the weather. So there always is going to be this like lingering seasonal sadness shit that happens. And all I can say for that is force yourself to get out of the house as much as possible, even though it's cold and sad, and, you know, do things that you love and like do things that make you happy. And I feel like it's really important to have friends and like not even just friends, but like have good connections and relationships with people in the winter, because it's really important to not be completely alone in a time where you already feel lonely despite having people around you. Like I have people around me and I feel so lonely for some reason. And like right now, all of my friends are home from college for Thanksgiving. And also when this is going up, actually no, it's going up on Wednesday. Thanksgiving's Thursday. So happy Thanksgiving tomorrow. Love y'all. I'm so thankful for you guys. Like literally owe my life to you. But what was I saying, dude? I always go off like my ADHD. Like I need to go get a diagnosis for ADHD. I don't want to take medicine for it because I just don't want to. I don't like the idea of meds unless you like absolutely need them. Then I support meds. Like if you're on meds, that's perfectly fine. I'm just saying for me, I don't want to be on a pill that like alters the way that my brain, like, you know what I mean, my body work and I feel everything. It's just, I don't know. It's really important to have people around you, obviously all the time, but especially in the winter because it's already like sad and depressing. So like try your hardest, even if it's not like friends. Like if you're like, well, I don't have any friends, like I literally feel you, because the second my friends go back to college, I'm gonna be like, oh my god, I have no friends. But it's just really important, even if it's like getting closer with your parents during like the winter months, or like during this time, like when you're feeling like sad and shit, or like your siblings or a cousin or whoever the case may be. It's just really important to like surround yourself with people and like be able to have little fun nights and stuff, and like watch movies with somebody else, just so like you're not alone. Moving on to more of like the overthinking part that I mentioned. I've been overthinking a lot lately, and I've just been thinking about my life and like so uncertain about what I want with my life. And I just like genuinely don't know what to do. I go back and forth so much with what I want my life to be right now, and it's so fucking hard. And I don't know how people like make decisions. Like I truly am so indecisive. And like even when it comes to like picking where I want to eat, like God forbid my boyfriend asks me where I want to eat, like I'm like, I'm hungry, where do you want to eat? I have no fucking idea. Don't ask me. Why would you ask me that? Or like, what movie do you want to watch? Like pick the movie. You can pick the movie tonight. Like I picked the movie last night. Do not put that decision on me. I don't like making decisions, and it's such a bad trait to have. I wish to fucking everything that I could be a decisive person and just always know exactly what I want and like be confident in my decisions and like in my intuition, but it's so hard for me. And like I honestly feel like me overthinking all of the time and like kind of training myself to be indecisive by like not pushing myself to be a decisive person and like working on that trait that I have. I feel like I've conditioned myself and my mind to be indecisive, and I feel like it's ruined my intuition. Like I don't know what my gut is telling me to do in this situation. Like I haven't even talked about what situation I'm talking about, but like my life, bro, like what do I want to do with my life right now? Yes, but also like next year, what do I want to do with my life? Because my whole plan, like when I decided I wasn't going to go to school, is that I was going to live at my parents' for a year. I was going to continue growing my social media and, you know, building out my personal brand and, you know, like grabbing onto more opportunities and things like that, and just like working hard for this year, living at home still, being with my family, living here. And then I was like, okay, but like what would be my sophomore year of college, so when all my friends are, starting their second year, I would move away somewhere. I don't even know where I would want to move. I don't even know if I want to move, because at this point it's like my boyfriend's here, my family's here. I genuinely feel I don't know. The place isn't making me happy, but the people are making me happy. And I also will say, like, I don't completely despise this town anymore. Like, from 0 to 18 and a half, I hated this town more than anything. And like, all I wanted to do was escape it and leave and like go do something else. And now that I'm kind of like out of school and I'm just like living my own life and I'm on my own schedule and I'm just like at home enjoying my time here, I found like it's so peaceful here and I feel comfortable and I do like it and I enjoy it. And I can't imagine leaving my family and my boyfriend, but then I battle with this idea and I'm like, I am never going to reach my full potential or grow to the level that I could grow to if I don't leave. Like, I can't just stay in my hometown forever. And that's something that I care about like so much. Ever since I was young, I've seen the importance of leaving your hometown, even if it's just for a year or two or whatever, a few months. Just leave your hometown, experience a new place, new people, if you have the opportunity to do so. Obviously, there are so many like restrictions, especially now with the economy. Like, you can barely fucking live. Like, majority of people can barely fucking survive, and like they don't have the opportunity or like the blessing to be able to just like pack up their life and move somewhere. And for that, I like am so grateful. And it's like, if I have that opportunity, why am I not taking it? Like, so many other people in this position would take that opportunity and go live their best life, or even if it fails, at least you tried it. You know what I mean? So I battle with this a lot. And another thing is I have like two common things that people say to me when I talk about this and when I bring this up, and they completely contradict each other. Like, it's two pieces of advice, two little like comfort sayings or like ideologies that people will say to me, and they literally are polar opposites. One of the things that people say to me is, stop overthinking it. You will know when you know. It's going to come to you. Whatever is meant to, come into your life and happen is going to happen. And I push that out so much that, whatever's meant to happen is going to happen. But that doesn't mean you can just like sit back and never think about it or never put any action into it and like shit's just going to happen. Like, you have to put in effort for something to happen. And with that, people are like, just live your life now, and like these big decisions are going to work themselves out. Like, you will figure it out. You know what I mean? Like, put more thought and effort into it, just like let it come to you. You'll know when the time is right. But then other people are like, there's never going to be a right time. There's never going to be a right time to pack up and leave your town and leave your boyfriend and leave your friends and leave your family. There's never going to be a right time for that. You have to take a leap of faith, step out of your comfort zone, and you have to force yourself into it. It's not an easy thing to do for anybody. And the thing is, I believe in both of those things. And how can I believe in both of those things when they literally contradict each other? It's like, do I force myself to go do it? Or do I wait? Because like, what if I'm not supposed to go do that? But then it's like, I'm never going to fucking know if I don't go do it. So it's like, I need to go. But where am I going? Who am I going with? Like, I don't want to live alone. I need somebody to live. Like, it's so much to think about, and it's so tricky. And I don't want this whole episode to be about this, but it's just something like, that's what I've been thinking about so much, on top of so many other things that like do not matter. Like, this is something that actually matters. Like, it's my life. It's my plans for next year, the following year, the following year, the following year. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm hoping that it's just going to come to me. And if it doesn't, I'm just going to fucking go for it or not go for it. Like, I just have to make a decision and stick with it and be confident in my decision. And I need to do that. But so many other things I've been overthinking, like things that don't matter, like thinking about people that I haven't like thought about in so long. And it's just like things I don't even be thinking about. It's like, it just all comes to me at nighttime when I'm trying to sleep. And that's fucking part of the reason I probably like didn't want to go to bed tonight and I wanted to record this episode, because like I just sit there and I spiral and I think about not only my moving situation, not only like what the fuck I'm doing with my life, but then also like a million other things. And it's like, would I be happier if I would have done this? Or like, would I be happier if I do this and like not do that? And it's like, what am I doing? What am I doing? It's so hard. It's so hard to just shut your fucking brain off and like what is the solution? Because I clearly got over it in the past. Because like I said in the beginning of the episode, like I used to overthink like crazy and then it kind of got better and now it's kind of bad again. And I don't know what I did. I know and I truly believe in the back of my head, like worrying about things is not going to change them. I kind of like to use the example of like in a relationship, it isn't worth like always worrying that your partner is going to cheat on you, or like if your partner is going to cheat, or if your partner is the type of person to cheat. If they're going to cheat, they're going to do it. And you worrying doesn't change anything. And I truly believe me overthinking and worrying doesn't change anything. And I know that. I know that so deeply. Like I have been telling myself that for years. I've been telling other people that for years. Thinking about things doesn't change them. Whatever is going to happen is going to happen. And unless it's like a direct thing that you can change like this moment, it isn't worth putting that much time and effort and thought into. Even like me potentially moving next year, whatever I'm fucking battling with right now, the thought that I'm currently putting into it and like the thoughts that I'm having and like the worries that I'm having aren't valid. Like they're not logical arguments. They're not logical points. They're not logical anything. Like I'm just fucking spiraling about it. And the second that I feel confident one way, I'm like, no, but what about this? And I just like I can't do it. And it's so hard. It's so hard. But I will say, I said like, oh, I don't know what to do. I do have a few tips for overthinking besides just reminding yourself that overthinking and thinking about things isn't going to change them. Things are going to happen and you thinking about them, again, I'm saying this like 6 times because I want me to understand it, but also for you guys to understand it. Thinking about things is not going to change them, right? Also, when it comes to actually like laying down, trying to fall asleep and you're overthinking like crazy and spiraling, I don't know if you guys all deal with this. Obviously, not everybody deals with this, but I feel like a lot of people probably do. It's really important to stay off your phone before bed. And I know that's like a crazy, oh my God, like everybody says to stay off your phone like an hour before bed, or like stay off electronics, like for the blue light or whatever, like it messes up your REM sleep. But then also, what I find is like if I'm scrolling on TikTok for like 2 hours before bed, or I'm watching different podcasts, or I'm doing whatever, and then I finally decide it's time to go to sleep. This is actually so true. I'm fucking mind blowing myself right now. Like I knew that this was true and that's why I'm saying it, but I had I didn't write this down anywhere. It just came to me this moment. And it's actually so true. Like what I'm about to say might blow your mind. It seems so simple and straightforward, but actually like think about it, because like I just put myself in the position of like scrolling on my phone on TikTok for like 2 hours straight, right? You finally decide it's time to go to bed. You turn your phone off, you set your alarms or whatever, you put your phone over on the nightstand, you turn your lamp off, you turn your light off, you lay down, and your mind is so fucking awake. Even if you're tired, like even if you're like falling asleep on TikTok, your mind is still like wired because you were just overstimulating the fuck out of your head for like 2 hours straight on TikTok. Every 15 seconds, a new video. Overstimulation, like so much information, so many visuals, so many different people, so many different things. When you turn your phone off and set it down, it's silent for the first time in 2 hours. And your brain isn't used to that. You know, your brain isn't ready to sleep because it just thought it was in a full conversation or in a full activity because you were just stimulating it for the last 2 hours with like nonsense. So when you're laying there and it's silent after not being silent for that long, your mind needs to fill in what it's missing now, because it was going, and now it's just black. Pitch black. You're trying to sleep, but your mind is still awake because you were just doing all that. And it's like, of course, you're going to still be like wired and thinking about things, and your brain's going to find new things to think about because it was just in that cycle of new TikTok, new Instagram post, new fucking Facebook post, whatever the case is. I know being on your phone before bed is bad. And I've heard of, again, like the blue light thing. I've heard like, you know, you can't get, like it messes up your melatonin and stuff because it's like light. Well, I guess it's a blue light thing. But like, I get it. Like, it's just like, you shouldn't be on your phone because it's just like, it's keeping you awake when you should be like letting yourself get tired. But I've never thought it in the fact of like, your brain is experiencing so much nonstop, like, like when you see like an arcade and it's like a bunch of lights and sounds, it's like ding, 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 It's like that. Like, that's what TikTok is for your brain. The dopamine hits of like social media and like all of that, like fake dopamine and fake serotonin. It's all hitting you at once right before you're trying to sleep. You put your phone down and it's pitch black, no dopamine, no serotonin. And it's just, you're there. And you're thinking, because what the fuck else are you gonna do? Because you're still awake, but like you don't have something to watch now. Stay off your fucking phone before bed. I think that really helps with turning your brain off and being able to sleep and not overthinking things. And then also, this is like a very simple hack, but white noise helps me a lot when I sleep. Like either having like I have a Hatch alarm clock and it plays like sleep sounds. You can like pick different sounds that you want to listen to, like waves crashing or pink noise, white noise, like fire crackling. Like there's so many different things. Or you can just go on Spotify and like play it on your phone and sleep to that, because instead of like just having it be completely silent and your brain again trying to fill the void of what it's missing, if it's like still like not fully ready for sleep, it's gonna like come up with thoughts. But when you have that sound to like listen in on and focus on, you can just focus on the sound, and it's a lot easier to sleep just focusing on a sound than it is to focus on like 8 million different thoughts in the span of like 10 minutes. This episode is so weird, but I honestly feel like this is literally therapy for me, guys. Like I don't even know how. Like, I don't even, like, somebody was like, what do you talk about in your podcast? I literally don't know. My podcast is, like, every episode is so different. And I would say overall, it's, like, an advice podcast. Like, a teenage/college age advice podcast. Not even college. I'd say more teenage advice. Yeah, teenage advice. Teenage advice. That's it. There's no other, like, category, though, because it's so different every fucking episode. And I don't know really. Again, I'm starting to overthink about the podcast because there's so many different things that I want to do, and I kind of want to take December off, and I want to like kind of change some things about the set for the visual watchers, and then also I kind of want to start learning more and like putting more time and effort into like the production of it and like get like different, so you don't care about this stuff, but I think that I might take off December and have season 2 of the podcast start early or January, like the first week of January. I think I might take a month off and like start a new season. We'll call it a new season, and it will be like, things could be worse, remodeled, like version 2, volume 2. We're gonna like change some things up, improve it. I put a lot of time and effort into the podcast, but there's definitely way more that I could do and way more that I could learn, and I definitely want to do that because I want to continue growing and being happy with my podcast. And it's not that I'm not happy with it, it just kind of feels a little all over the place. And honestly, like some of you guys, or most of you, like if you're listening, you probably love that, and it's not gonna like change, like the podcast isn't gonna be completely different, but there is just like a few things that I do want to work on, and I feel like taking a month off would be really helpful for that, and like just like focusing on my other things while simultaneously like learning and like putting in, because like I don't have enough time. It's like every single week I have to record a new episode, right? Obviously that's how it works. So I don't have, by the time I record and upload one episode, I already have to start thinking about the next episode. And it's like I don't fully have time to like change a bunch of things in the span of 6 days. You know what I mean? Like I can't like change the entire, like everything that I want to change and like everything that I want to work on in 6 days. I feel so weird right now, and it's like got really hot in here for no reason. It feels like he is like blasting out on me. I'll tell you guys about the bruise on my head, and then I honestly might go. This episode was probably not even helpful. It was literally me just like ranting about seasonal sadness and overthinking, and then like not even giving you advice on it. So fuck, like what? Guys, I think this is just like an accurate this podcast episode is an accurate representation of the way my mind feels right now and the way that it's working. All over the place, chaotic, doesn't know what she wants or when she wants it. She's fucking clueless. But the other day, I went to my grandma's, or we had to go to my grandma's for like an early Thanksgiving celebration on like my dad's side. And I woke up, I actually had some friends over at night, We got a little bit dizzy, but like nothing crazy. We were just like sitting, like playing some games, like just like very casual, like only probably seven of us at my house, and it was just like very chill. My boyfriend slept over, and we ended up like staying up and just talking really late, and like people left around like 1 a.m. and then I think we went to bed around 3. And like we got a snack and stuff. Like we just like had a late night, and then I had to be up in the morning really early to go to my grandma's. And I have experienced this thing off and on over the years, ever since I was like a little child. Like 8 years old is the first time I kind of remember it happening. But basically, if I take a shower, this only happens sometimes, but if I take a shower when I'm like super, super, super tired, like immediately after I wake up and like get out of bed, I will pass out. I don't know what it is. Like I said, it's happened for years, and it doesn't happen like every time. It's not like I pass out every time I take a shower, or like I never take showers in the morning, because like I'm a morning person, or I'm a morning showerer now. I used to be a night showerer, and now I'm a morning showerer. It just like wakes me up, makes me feel better in the morning, so I do that now. But I happened to oversleep a little bit when I was supposed to be up and getting ready to go to my grandma's. I was supposed to wake up at like 9, and I woke up at 9:40. So clearly not great. We had to leave by 10, my dad said. So I wake up finally very late. I check my phone and I'm like, oh my God, no fucking way I have 20 minutes to get ready right now. So I immediately shoot out of bed. I don't even like look at my phone or anything. I just like shoot to my room or bathroom. I get in the shower. I start taking a shower. Immediately 15 seconds in, I start getting really lightheaded, and I'm like, there is no way that I'm dealing with this right now. Like, what? This also hasn't happened in probably a year. I haven't experienced this in probably like a year. So I put my head down like in between my knees, not like actually in between my knees, but like if you were sitting in a chair, you would put your head in between your knees to like prevent yourself from passing out. I just like hung my head lower than like my chest, because that's what you're supposed to do to get like the blood back to your head. I stood in the shower with like my head down, like crunched over for probably like 20 seconds. And then I was like, okay, I feel a little bit better. I stood back up, and it started going. Like, I didn't even get to wash my body. I didn't get to do anything. Like, I had just stood under the water at this point. And I stand back up, and immediately it starts again. And if you've never passed out before, I feel like a lot of people, like most people, have probably passed out at some point. But if you've never passed out before, it's basically like your vision slowly starts to go black in like different spots. Like one spot will turn a little black, and then the next one will, and it just continues to spread until everything turns black, and then you pass out or black out, and then you hit the floor, you lose consciousness or whatever. But I've rarely let myself fully pass out where like everything goes black and I just like fall. I know, like I can tell when I'm about to pass out, so I'll like, you know, get to the floor. I'll lay on the floor, or I'll run over to my bed and I'll quick lay down so like I can, you know, collect myself and not like fully pass out. And so I start getting this, it starts happening, and it happens pretty quick. Once you start experiencing these spots, you have probably 15 seconds or less to make it to the floor, or you're hitting the floor with or without your consent. You know what I mean? Like you will hit that floor. So I start getting it. I step out of the shower. I'm like dripping water everywhere. And I go to turn the corner in my bathroom to get to my room. And then everything goes black. I smack my head so hard on like the corner of my wall in my bathroom. I have such a fat, like, it's not even like a bump. It just hurts. Like it's just a fat bruise, and it's like a little bit purple. But I hit my head and it kind of like clears up my vision again. And then I was able to like make it to my floor, and then like not like out because I was able to lay down before I completely blacked out. But I fucking passed out, and then I was like, Dad, I'm going to need a couple minutes. Like, I'm going to need some time to collect myself. I just didn't take a shower. I just, like, I brushed my teeth. I put on a little bit of makeup, and I was like, okay, guys, I'm ready. I looked like hell. But, yeah, that happened. I don't know why. Like, let me know in the comments if you're watching this on YouTube, on the Things Could Be Worse YouTube channel. Let me know in the comments if you've ever experienced passing out, or, you know, either like just passing out in general, or like if you have this shower thing too. I've never heard anybody say that they had it as well, so I'm curious. Or if you're not watching on YouTube, you could go over to the YouTube, or you can like DM me on the Things Could Be Worse pod Instagram account, and let me know. Tell me your experience about passing out, because I've done it a lot. and I'm curious about it. So, and before you guys are like, oh my God, you need to go to the doctor, like that's not normal. I've gone to the doctor and I've talked about it, and at first they were like, okay, that kind of sounds like anemia, but then like I've gotten my blood tested like multiple times over the years, and I have like fine iron levels. But I still just like claim anemia for myself because like I get so lightheaded all the time. I don't know what it is. I probably have something serious going on, and like they're just like brushing it off. Like doctors a lot of the time do. Like they don't take your concerns and your symptoms seriously, which is not good. But yeah, fuck, this podcast was so bad. Maybe I shouldn't have recorded it tonight. I definitely should have waited till tomorrow. But now that it's already done, and I feel like it wasn't a bad episode. I feel like I was really on a roll and I was really thinking about a lot of things, but I don't know if they're useful to you. You know what I mean? So let me know again in the comments or on the Instagram DMs. But I'm just gonna end this episode. I'm sorry if it was like a little shorter than you would like, but I love you guys. Thank you so much for listening. It literally, again, means the world to me. I'm so thankful for you guys. If you guys celebrate Thanksgiving, I hope you guys have an amazing Thanksgiving and a great time with your family and your friends, and you're able to just really be present. I know like sometimes people like dread family events or whatever, but like really try to enjoy it, okay? Try to enjoy it. Be grateful that you have a family. And if you don't have a family, I'm really sorry. I know the holidays can be so hard. Like I can't imagine. I have a really small family, so I kind of, have that. Like I don't have like big family gatherings or like big family traditions on the holidays. Like it's really just like me and my immediate family. So it is kind of like sad and lonely in that sense, but I can't even imagine like if you kind of come from like a very broken home or like don't really have family. I'm very, very sorry, because I can only imagine how hard the holidays could be for you. So I love you guys, and the holidays are gonna pass like they do every year, and yeah, I just love you. All right, I will talk to you guys next Wednesday. Thanks again for listening. I've said thank you like 8 times, but I am really so thankful for you guys. Okay, bye.